Hello, 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 hello. I thought I'd just do a follow-up stream today after doing a short hour and a half long stream yesterday where I looked at the new TV Boy editions. I felt like I'd just fire things up and do another little short stream today where I just play a random selection of things in MAME that I feel like playing just to try and get into the routine of streaming a bit again. So I'm going to start with a fairly obscure game on Galaxian hardware called Catacomb, and it's by MTM Games in 1982. And if you've ever heard of this one, I will be quite amazed because it's very obscure. In fact, I can't remember seeing anybody else really spend time playing this one. So here you go. Obviously, you can tell it's Galaxian hardware from the sounds, but they've tried to do almost a vertical shooter on Galaxian hardware. And it wasn't really designed for that, was it? You can tell by the tile-based scrolling and the rather psychedelic colours you get in places. So I think it might be a little bit loud, so I'm going to turn the volume down slightly. But yeah, this one will kill you off quickly. It's one of those fly through a tunnel system games, and the tunnels are very, very narrow. Yeah, it's not one you like we've seen in the arcades back in the day. I don't know when it was found or when it was done, but it's been in MAME for a good few years now. It's unusual to see a game like this on Galaxian hardware, really. But look how narrow this is. How on earth are you meant to get through that? It's quite ridiculous. I mean, maybe there's a way, maybe there's a strategy. And then you got to do that with there. And I died there. Not easy. Not easy. It's one of those where, well, if you put a credit in it, you're probably going to be left feeling a little unsatisfied with what you get in terms of the experience because you die so quickly. But maybe you find enjoyment. I mean, it's not a bullet hell. There are relatively few bullets. There's just a lot of environmental hazards, let's just say. So there we go. Just keep playing. So I don't know if I don't know how busy it's going to get tonight because this is a completely unannounced stream. I mean, I've not said to anybody or even posted to my Discord that there is a stream happening. So we'll just play a few games and have a bit of fun and see if anybody shows up. Yeah, you can go straight. I think the enemies don't kill you as much. That one kills you, but those sources don't seem to kill you. The walls do kill you. Look at the little fire animation on the ship. It's like a tail. Now, in some ways, I'm reminded of Kaneko's Red Clash, which has got a scrolling section, but it's not really a tunnel section. It's harsh, this. I think the collision box is probably at the very top of your ship, so maybe doing it early is the technique. I don't really know. Yeah, the flame on your ship moves as you move left and right. I'd say it's a nice touch, but the game's so hectic, you're probably never going to notice it. Like you decide to stare at the ship. But yeah, you have to avoid the front of your ship hitting anything. The back seems fine. Not that fine. No, I can see why not many people know this game. It's maybe a step too far for Galaxian hardware. And and it shouldn't be throwing these narrow tunnels at you right from the off. I'm sorry. It's also quite loud and very boomy. If you didn't know the Galaxian hardware could make explosion sounds, you do have to play in this one. Okay. Shall we keep going? Another credit. Now, I don't really know what I'm even going to play on the stream. I've not even got a planned list. So if anybody does join and has any suggestions from things that run in MAME, then do let me know. Otherwise, it's just going to be a case of whatever comes to mind at any given moment. Probably a lot of old nonsense. I might end up looking things. Okay. Now, I know one thing I did play on the last stream was the newly emulated brick game, block game, the Tetris one, and I couldn't work out what the special blocks did. I've since been shown the data sheet of all things, which has the instructions of it on, explaining how to play the game. And all these blocks are just weird. You know, the different blocks aren't used like the special flashing blocks aren't used like Tetris pieces. Each shape has a meaning. So the single block one is the filler one. The 2-block one allows you to use the rotate button to erase tiles. I think the 3-block one allows you to fill in tiles. Although I did still notice the one that's meant to drop down to the bottom and fill things in also acts like the firing blocks filler thing. So it still seems a bit odd. It still seems like there might be something slightly off with it, but it does make a little more sense now if I play again. So I may revisit that at some point. I'm not sure I'll do that one today. Other than that, it's my Aqua Plus PIC piece thing, whatever it's called, PIECE or P/ECE, hasn't been merged yet. I'd quite like to get that emulated, but that's another one where it's requiring a new CPU core. Odd black and white handheld from the early 2000s with a big homebrew scene, which is kind of what's interesting. There's a lot of odd and unusual games on that, so I'd like to try and get that running. I think Catacomb has got the better of me here. I'm not surprised. I have tried to play this before and felt very, very much the same. I don't know what it has to say for amusement only. That's typically something you see on gambling games. And this is not a gambling game. It's a game just about... It's just chaos. It's just absolute chaos. I'm assuming this is probably hacked from a Galaxian code base. It feels very, very messy, but I've never studied the code on it. But I think for now, we will move on, because you're probably fed up with seeing me dying in tunnels. What should we play? Let's play another old, janky game. Let's go to a bit of mid-coin this time, with AD 2083. Now, this one is still set in the future. It's impressive for these games. So, yeah, this one's got some ugly graphics. I've never seen the PCB. I don't know if this planet's meant to be green. And the Midcoin logo. Then again, Midcoin games are ugly. If you played War Crash, you will know just how ugly Midcoin games are. It's got speech. But yeah, look at these graphics. I say I don't know if they're correct. I've never seen any original screenshots of this. They just look kind of abstract. But yes, let's go around and shoot things. Now this one's got, you know, full 8 directional movement. Over this planet. Did say hyper jump. I don't think that was a hyper jump. That was more of a explodey and die. Now, I feel my shuttle's more like an ice skate here. It also feels like it controls a bit like an ice skate. However, it's definitely a space shuttle. But what am I doing? I don't know. Scrolling... I mean, it does keep scrolling. But it only scrolls when you're right against the edge of the screen, which is awkward. Yeah, I'm just dodging things. There's some sort of sector display up there that I don't understand. And you auto... Oh, I'm hitting the fire button. Maybe auto fires. There's things turning green in the phase and status display. Yeah, this auto fires actually. I don't know why I'm holding down fire. Oh no, it auto fires for a while. Again, very odd. If you press fire, it will fire for a while and then stop firing. Stop firing now. I'll press fire once. Semi-auto fire. What's this? Oop. Like Mario Kart. But yeah, I want to move to the right, but to move to the right I have to be here, which is really, really awkward. So maybe it's just trying to encourage me not to move to the right. Now, I feel like I'm making some progress. The things by the status and phase are filling in slowly. Very slow. Yes, continue. 2, 1, fire. So again, I'm guessing this is a game that basically nobody has played. Outside of MAME. I mean, very, very unlikely to ever encounter a cabinet of this. Don't really know whether it's sort of distribution. So, oh, I do have a hyper jump. Oh, there we go. There we go. So, I guess if I fill in the bar, I get to use a hyper jump. And now I'm on phase 2, which is the same, but with weird spinny things. But maybe that's all this game is. Stay in an area for a while, shoot things. Why can I hyper jump? I didn't fill in the whole bar. Or do I have to go back now? No, I'm shooting planets? Mini planets? Bowling balls? Not really sure. Maybe it's bowling balls in space. This game does not really explain anything. Maybe there's a flyer. Maybe I should try and incorporate flyers into my stream, but that would require either looking them up while I'm playing or talking. What if I don't want to hyper jump? Eh? I'm gonna keep going. I want to fill in the stages until it gets oh, green. But the graphics seem exceptionally ugly, especially the backgrounds. It does feel like there's a missing bit plane or something, but as far as I know, all the ROMs are used, everything from the ROM data is decoded, so it might just be how it looks. Unless there's a ROM missing. Again, no references to this one. Mission 4. Oh, okay, so if you fill in all the green stuff, oh, it goes back to 1? Or is that just because you have to complete... There's 1, 2, and 3 on both sides. Is that player 1 and player 2? I don't even understand the status bar. That's quite confusing. It might be split for player 1 and player 2 because there were 2 scores. So, yeah, it might just have a lot of redundant information on the screen at all times. I mean, okay, quite normal to have both player scores at the top of the screen. But... do we really need the status and phase displays for both players at the top of the screen? Seems a little unnecessary. And again, maybe the whole game is unnecessary. It's not quite a time pilot, is it? Okay. Right. Right. So after mentioning that my AKR hadn't shipped on yesterday's stream, my AKR has now shipped, so I will be looking forward to that arriving and playing that on my Switch when it arrives. And limited run arrivals are usually pretty quick. So I guess it'll be here quite soon, maybe a couple of weeks. It's almost certainly going to beat the the C-mail delivery I have coming from Bai, where I've been picking up a few random bits and pieces with the interest of getting them emulated. Okay, let's continue. 2, 1, fire. So, what does continue do? Because all my phase and status things have been reset to empty. Continue just feels like a brand new game. Hyper jump. Hyper jump. Yes, I could hyper jump. I don't want to hyper jump, thank you. So yeah, continue seems a bit pointless. I thought, you know, continue's meant to be pick up where you left off. That is the point in a continue feature. But before my status gets cleared, I have not continued. So yeah, I've not been playing many things on MAME of late, really, because I've been playing modern games and actually just trying to get on with emulating things, writing CPU cores, researching systems. Still so many Japanese plug-and-play things we need to sort and buy at some point. But I don't know, it's kind of difficult to always find them. Searching Japanese auction sites for obscure games. Trying to make sure it's the right product. Hoping it works. I want to fill in all the green ones on this one to see what happens. If it was why? Now, unless there's some protection on this. I know the other mid-coin game, Wink, is very heavily protected. I don't know why either, because it's useless. Terrible game, as I said. Ooh, what am I doing here? Let's take more of these. Come on. What? No. Right, so it's all green. Yeah, it ends the mission. What is it going to send me to? It's going to send me to 2. Okay. Which makes sense. And the hyperjump feature is interesting in the sense you can skip to another sector, but I don't know why you'd want to. Except to maybe not get bored of searching the same things over and over. I've noticed one thing with many of these old games. The ones that have speech, often the weakest of the games. It's almost as if they thought, oh, if we put the speech in a game, it doesn't matter if the game's rubbish. I mean, not all of them. I love like Berserk and Frenzy and the Stern ones like that. But then you've got ones like this, and you've got the Century Electronic games, and some of the Zaccaria ones are a little rough. I think is it Scorpion? That's not the best. The there's some tech-free ones with sound, which are okay, speech, which are okay. But yeah, putting speech in a game does not magically make it better. Oh, there are instructions though. Okay. Oh, that destroys 6 rockets to move to the next. Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was the rockets. I thought it was just a number of enemies. Okay. See, it helps to read instructions. But yeah, so those rockets. Okay, right. Still doesn't explain why continue just sent me back to the start. Doesn't explain much at all. But anyway. Shall we move on? I think we should move on. Let's have a look at one that everybody forgot almost immediately after it was emulated. After people realised it was kind of broken, they did a few speed runs, played it for a while, and got utterly bored of it. I think this is one of those games where people were so hyped for it for so many years when it wasn't emulated and wasn't dumped, and yeah, the hype died down very, very quickly after it was. This is the joystick-based, yes, joystick-based Marble Madness 2. It does have 3-player support. Yeah, press button for turbo. So instead of rolling the trackball more quickly, you have a turbo, which you can just really abuse and go not like that. Big falls cost time. Probably put you in hospital. Marble hospital. Doesn't really have the classic tunes of the first game. Doesn't have that frantic trackball action that defined the first game. Just has some very overly busy courses. Yeah, if you get the flags, you get bonus stuff, and I think getting all the flags is key to succeeding. Yeah. I don't know. So people worked out that you can get an absolute ton of extra time on this by abusing the game mechanics. But I mean, maybe had it been released, it would have been tuned a bit better. So it was not. I don't think anybody's even picked this one up for licensing on modern systems. I mean, we're talking about what Jeff Minter did with games on the last stream. Do you think he could make a psychedelic Marble Madness? It's already kind of there on the music front, but visually, Marble Madness is kind of ordinary looking. I suppose you could add weird portals. But then it's probably just get too visually busy, which is one of the problems with this sequel anyway. There's too much going on. It lost the simplicity. There's a lot you could still do with the concept, and I've played many good recent clones of this on PC over the years. I don't know. What is this drone? It's I know the original had sound kind of droning music in places too. And just bashing down walls. I don't know. It's I mean, everybody did say who had played it at the shows before it was emulated that it was a disappointing sequel, and yeah, it kind of is. I'm really curious to know what the actual Marble Man version would have been like, though. The one that did still use trackball. Would it suffer from the same level design problems, or would it have been better? We don't know, because I think that one is lost. I mean, because sometimes when games failed location testing and ended up being rebalanced for the sake of well, based on the feedback of the audience, to try and appeal a little more. It was possible to ruin them in the process. We've got other prototypes in MAME where the prototype versions have elements that were taken out of the final game and were kind of fun. So, I don't know, for all I know, the earlier build of Marble Madness might be more fun. And this is also really weird, because you've got your pinball flipper that flip you, but also you've still got control of the marble. So, I mean, it feels confused. No, I've got to hit the toes. So, it's pinball, but it's not pinball. It's pinball where you control the ball directly, and... yeah, I mean, we can talk about 90s Atari and the many mistakes, and I suppose this is up there. It's a shame. You look at the 80s output, and there were so many creative ideas, and so many ideas that didn't make it out the door that were better than if they released in the 90s. I don't even know how you didn't know. I guess you just do it at the right time, don't you? There we go. Timing is everything. Hidden flag. Ooh. Yeah, I've got to get up to that. I fell down again. And the there's a slight lack of clarity with the graphics on this one too, I think. It's... no, the flags are flashing. No, there's other marble chases you and you can push it off. There's the sun. Not seen much of that today. I think we are overdue some sort of reboot of this series. But how would you do it without the trackball? motion controls aren't really going to cut it. I mean, you don't want to be track and fielding, you know, remote control. Well, you know, one of the Switch remotes. That would feel weird. Analog controls just make the concept too easy. Yeah, it was something more like Spin Dizzy, which is a fine game, but it's more of a puzzler. That works because it's about precision and not using the brake that often. Maybe I should play Spin Dizzy on the stream at some point. It's interesting how different it is to Marble Madness, despite clearly still being a game about a marble. Or a ball or a spinning top. Or you can change into many forms in that one. Anyway. All quiet in the chat still, which I kind of expected. So let's just keep looking at a few more games. I'm going to be dim, am I? And yeah, if you get to the King of the Mountain on this, it's actually a race up the mountain with the time you've accumulated over the other levels. And it shows you it here. Which again is another thing the game has been criticised for. Because this is meant to be the sort of big reveal at the end of the game that you go up the mountain and the attract mode shows you. So why do that? I don't know. It failed for a reason. I'm sorry, Bob Flanagan. And everybody else listed there. I mean, it's nice we get to play it, but yeah, it's not the best game in the world ever, is it? So, where should we go from there? Let me have a little look at some lists. Actually, what are the controls set up on this? This is analog, isn't it? Yes. I don't know if it's going to work on keyboard. And I don't have the pad plugged in. But this is one of those plug and play games. Another Epoch one. Epoch seems to be order of the day at the moment. Yes, but yeah, this is Super Dash Ball, which I seem to recall is quite good fun, but it may not play too well without. Yeah, I probably need an analog controller. You race along with your ball, collect gems, a bit like Sonic bonus stages. Look at us going along here. Oh, I can get that. I'll miss that. Yes. I always seem to forget that we emulated this one, and yet it's one of the one of the more enjoyable plug and play games. Zavix hardware, especially if you play it with a decent set of controls. But you know, since we were playing a marble game, I thought, why not play another marble game with a ball that is suspiciously Sonic the Hedgehog coloured and sounds like Mario. And then it goes, woohoo! Sometimes. You see that? Oh, I think we have to jump over those. Mouse on them. But yeah, I mean, this is, it's not bad, is it? I mean, it's a pseudo sprite scaler because Zavix hardware does not have sprite scaling. So these are all pre-rendered sizes of tiles at the size and, you know, jewels we're collecting. But it's a convincing one. I mean, yeah, you could ask why hardware from this period does not support sprite scaling, but didn't need to, I guess. Still makes a good job of it. So there we go. I finished a course. The only issue I have with some of these plug and play games is they're a little low on content. I mean, it makes sense because, you know, they're just little toys, really. But I think you've got like the 4 worlds here, and they're all quite short. However, it's a fun little concept. If you're playing with a trackball controller, I think the original used, you're going to have to do a lot of rolling to keep your speed up. Cheating a little bit here using a keyboard. Did we go through those? No, I think we just jump over them. And lost a bit of speed. So I know at the talk at Blackpool I showed another Epoch game on Zavix hardware, which is the Gururin World one, the one with the little unicycle. But this is one of the other ones. You can bounce on the those things, which I think does keep speed up. Maybe you need to bounce on them. Not to jump over those things. It's stupid. Not sure. I used to know. I still need to revisit the Zavix sound hardware at some point and try and get all the envelopes working. Every time I fire up, say, the E-Cara stuff, I realise just how bad our Zavix sound emulation is. You don't notice it much on the games like this, but on those karaoke ones, you really do. Oh, okay. You absolutely do not want to hit those. There we go. Come on, let's dodge the war tornadoes. And keep going. So here we go. Oh, yes, it does feel a bit like we're playing a Sonic bonus stage. Which is no bad thing. Sonic 2's bonus stages running down the half pipe were some of the best. Oh, look, I get a bit into my name. Yeah, these Japanese plug and plays have nice touches like this. You never really see this in the American ones. So let's do this one, shall we? Nighttime. It's not really very night, is it? Meant to get those? They make noises. Oh, outs. Definitely meant to get these. Oh yeah, and you can pull off the edge in this one. It's one of those tracks. Ow. Yeah, I think I am taking away a lot of the challenge by using a keyboard where I can just hold up. It looks like, again, remarkably like a planet. I am being beaten by planets today. Right, so... Come on, let's get to the end. I suppose it's one of those where, again, you can challenge your own scores and times, which, with a lot of this type of game, is half the point. It's not difficult getting to the finish most of the time. Watch me fail now. Yeah, I think there's some sort of chain mechanic going on those. Oh, there those move. Now we get to the finish. And we have completed that one. With a little rainbow. If I ever do a games with rainbows theme, I will have to remember that. I bet this saves the scores as well, you know, because a lot of these have an internal SE prom. I think this one does too, so I might be saving these scores. I've not done that one yet, huh? So let's have a look at this one. So yeah, this is probably only going to be another short stream of about an hour and a half. But yeah, it's more of a get back into a routine of doing something. Because it's very easy to fall out of the routine of doing anything. So, yeah, oh, I should have got the jump there. In terms of other scaling games, I still need to revisit the latest Sun Plus hardware, because there's that SpongeBob racing game on it, which is a little bit like a single-player Mario Kart. It's a bit like this, but with SpongeBob. And look, that's actually got proper sprite scaling hardware, that later Plus hardware. But I think there are still some CPU core bugs, or maybe missing DMAs or something plaguing the emulation there that I've not ever got to the bottom of. And all the games on those use compiled code, which is done with a compiler that generates absolutely horrible to read code, which makes debugging them a little bit of a nightmare. However, it's definitely something I need to revisit. I don't really know if I get that done this year or not. I want to look at some of the later plug and play systems as well, the ones on 293 hardware, which look absolutely terrible. I mean, I've got one over there, and well, if I get them emulated, you will see what I mean. But they basically run on those ones run on the same hardware as Hyperscan, actually, plus core, with a few more features that they're on my list to do. There's one that's got a really bad high resolution, well, 640 resolution Mario Brothers ripoff called, I think it's Candy Bear. Absolutely awful. Doesn't have the secret pipes. That has stolen music from New Super Mario Brothers Wii. And it's got about 30 levels. They put in enough effort to give you 30 levels. Anyway, that's just me rambling about potential future tasks. So I think this does have some other modes too. If we go back, that's the score again. Now what's back? Being able to read this would help. I still think it's in there. No, that's still this menu. There's also 2-player, by the way. You can race friends. Is it still back further? I don't know. Back further. So yeah, there's all this other stuff. So I don't know what that is. What's that? No, that's still this mode. I think these are only 2-player modes. It says versus. Is that split screen mode? What about this one? This is the one I was looking at. So you get to choose your balls. Possibly. But this one's got some kind of roll around the maze and spike the enemy and all sorts of stuff. It seems like a tag game actually, because it looks like you tag somebody and then they're it. So none the red player and none the blue player. Pretty good. So you get the idea. It's want to play with friends. Got a pair of trackballs. Now we're running away from the computer. You know, as I've always said, the effort they put into these ones, it's impressive. Now red's got it. Oh, the balls are gone. Not time. There we go. Run away from the computer. Nope. Oh, it's the last one standing, is it? It's not score based. It's the last one standing, or elimination, or I don't know. Everybody's back now, so yeah, I suppose there are more rounds to that. Anyway, Super Dash Ball on Zavix hardware. Worth checking out if you haven't, and I have a feeling most people haven't. So there you go. That's why I might come back to on another stream, because, well, I was kind of reminded of it when I was going over the Zavix driver earlier. In fact, shall we look at why I was going over the Zavix driver? Yeah, Team Europe picked up some more of these things. These run on Super Zavix hardware, which isn't very well emulated, but there's the Super TV PC, another Epoch system, but this is basically a learning computer. However, it's not, the emulation isn't quite there yet. You see the logo's kind of broken, and it's complaining about the CPROM, and again that display's broken. You'll notice a common theme here. Lots of these displays are broken. So it's like a little desktop thing. The mouse cursor's not hooked up yet. Educational computer. Had a bunch of cartridges for it too. So some of those were dumped. So there's like I don't remember. Which ones boot? No, that's not cartridges. There's also a Hello Kitty version of that dumped, but that does not boot at all. It just shows the logo and then crashes, which is odd. So what else shall we look at? Yeah, this is one I've tried a few times. But there have been further improvements to the Samsung KS0164 audio emulation, which you can notice if you fire up, say, something like King of Dynastia. Unfortunately, a lot of the other games using it seem to have additional protection, where after a level or so the sound will die and the credit system will die, which is quite odd. So, you see, they're almost recognisable as tunes now in sound effects. Now, they do seem to be reworked takes on the music from the original Dino Gears game. And it's kind of odd to listen to them because these seem to be done with high quality samples from the music in the original Dino Gear. And yeah, while the whole game is clearly just a really downgraded knockoff version of Dino Gear, it's fascinating because A, it exists, and they put so much effort into reproducing things like the soundtrack on an entirely different chip, and the game code on entirely different architecture, while stealing all the graphics, level designs, and everything else. Like I say, I have looked at this one a few times, and if you want to play Dino Gear, just play the original Dino Gear. There's no point in in playing this one as far as I'm concerned. But I suppose if you ended up with a PCB or you went to an arcade and they had it, you could do worse. It's just like a really weird port of a better game that looks the part and doesn't quite play the part. But, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Let's say that's that. It still doesn't sound perfect. In fact, the sound effects seem very, very low in the mix. But, yeah, maybe. Let's have a look at a bit of a Angelico. In fact, let's have a look at Chimera Beast. This is one of those very weird games. One of the prototypes. Does the music fit the game? Not especially. But, yeah, this is one of those games where you eat the enemies to transform, evolve, and I mean, Data East tried a similar concept with the Super Real Darwin game, I think, and this is Jellicoe attempting that, but with a horizontal shooter sort of approach. We'll give it a look. We'll have a look at it. There are still a few unemulated video effects in it, such as the high score table. You see, you send out your little teeth, and you eat things, and you evolve. Now look, kind of this weird thing. I think some of the evolutions are bad. I don't really know. But I'm hungry. I'm going to eat everything. And you can charge it as well. Yeah. It's like these little amoeba things. Now I've got an option. So I ate that one. They give you options. I've got 3 options. And I've evolved into a bigger spotty thing. Can I not eat that one? I can't eat that one. You can't eat the jellyfish full of eyes. Though now I've also got tails and things. I probably can't eat this because it's bigger than me. I hit something, so I lose some of my form, I guess. Okay, it's the games you can look at and go, oh, that's why it wasn't released. I think this is one of them because it's very difficult to really understand what's going on. In this case, I'm being pulled towards these things, by the way. The bubbles sort of indicate that. So you have to keep pulling away, which is difficult to do while you're still trying to shoot. I don't know why I'm dying here. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. But I think I finished the level. Fish. Stage 2. Hello, fish. Let's eat more fish. I'm eating fish. Now an armoured thing. I mean, it's an interesting concept. Does it work? Well, it works better than Marvel Madness 2 in terms of concept, but it's still... You have to learn the evolutions, I guess. So, otherwise you just get confused and don't really know what you should be trying to eat and what you should be trying to avoid. Not too bad line scrolling type effects. Not the smoothest, but in fact, eating that does change you a bit, I think. Is it? I don't know. Maybe it just damages it. It's got that DNA display at the bottom. Ooh. Not eat that. Unfortunately, it is one of those where the controls have a bit too much latency too. I think that's the thing I always notice when playing this. The control... You don't feel like you've got very precise movement. Which doesn't always help a shooter. Lasers are really unfair too. Need a DNA level up. Come on. No, no. Nothing will do. Fish. Give me a fish. No, give me more fish. Yeah, scale arms. I think... I don't know if there's a game that's really ever got this concept quite right. I do like it. I like how the arms wave around and move. Each segment moves independently. If you look at the arm though, it's not just one sprite that's moving, it's lots of little sprites, but at the same time lots of little sprites is probably too much for the Mega System 1 hardware to cope with effectively. It's... yeah. Oh, another credit. It's an interesting one. It's nice that it's dumped. It's nice that it can be played in MAME. Somehow don't think it's going to get any modern re-releases. I think this is always going to be one of those where if you want to play it, you're going to have to turn to MAME. Or maybe a converted PCB. I don't know. But I think the only PC... well, maybe with the MCUs now being dumpable, people could convert some of the cheaper PCUs if they wanted, but otherwise, I think you'd have to convert a Psy Battler. And I can easily say that, given the choice between playing this and playing Psy Battler in an arcade, you would want to play Psy Battler. Psy Battler is a very good game. This is a weird game. Ooh. So, here we go. I was watching Bloggo's POW the other day and managed to learn a thing or two. I did not realise that Dexter's Laboratory was on the Game Boy Color, was an Elevator Action reskin. Is that the right game? I think it's a kid's license. I think it was that one. I'll have to double check, but no, it's Game Boy Color video. The current one is actually really good. looking at some odd Game Boy Color games, some that, you know, I've never played versions of games on the Game Boy. I've got laser now, yes. And I do think I need to cover more things like that on this, on my channel, because due to being a handheld system, I think the Game Boy Color, like the Game Boy Advance, does get overlooked. What on earth is going on? It's such a big library and so many unique games on it, unique takes on other games, things based on popular shows at the time, just little throwaway games that are sometimes fun, or ports that have had to change things just to work on the system. Oh yeah, this game is confusing. We dead? No, we're not dead yet. So right, we'll probably play one more game after this, because I said this was meant to be a short little and get back into streaming. So yes, maybe see this blood thing there. That effect is meant to erase part of the screen as it goes down, or reveal part of the screen as it goes down. And I'm not even sure how it works. It might be using the standard sprite erase technique the hardware has in a different way, but it might be a priority thing. I don't know. I really don't know. Needs investigating. I mean, there's a few things on Mega System 1 that still need work. It was pointed out to me that Kickoff still has an optional trackball thing in the menu that is not hooked up yet. I mean, it's not Kickoff the famous game on the home computer, it's Kickoff the arcade game from the arcade. There's also another, the Tecmo World Cup 90. We've got sets that are meant to use a trackball, a set that's meant to use a trackball, but I think it's a bootleg set that's had the trackball support hacked out, because the trackball inputs in the test menu are just based on the digital input, and it doesn't seem to read a trackball at all, and it's got different video hardware. And why would it just it had different video hardware if it was an original set? When there's the same PCB for Tecmo World Cup 90 has got the usual unused analog control thing on. So I think the set that's marked as trackball for Tecmo World Cup 90 in MAME is a bootleg of an early Japanese set that had trackball support, and we don't have the early set. Just a theory. So, last game, the weird version of Dodonpachi Daiojo. This is the Tamashii version that was put on PGM2 hardware, which I find it funny because, you know, the original PGM hardware was 68K. This uses the IGS 036, which is an ARM-based CPU with internal ROM. So it's all being compiled for a different system. It offers easy mode. And that's about the only main change, really. I think it just makes the bullets a bit slower. The sound hardware is entirely different, so this is a more MP3 like sound system rather than the other one, the ICS, whatever it's called. But if you just look at the game, you probably wouldn't know all those changes that happened under the hood. Okay, you can buy this game, or a version of the game, not this version, on the Switch now. And yeah, obviously that's I think on the M2 ports. It's a bit expensive. I still think it's the best Dodonpachi game Cave did. I'm not really a fan of the ones that did after this. And the ones they did before this are fun, but they just don't quite have this style to them that really works for me. And this one gets the difficulty just about right too. It's tough, but you do feel like you can make progress with it. Okay, a bit easy now, but even the original, the Black Label versions on standard PGM hardware, they feel punishing, but well designed. I mean, you could say that really Cave's games are well designed, but it's the patterns make sense. I mean, obviously, if you're talking just go straight into them like that, don't they? They don't make sense. Well, that's me not making sense. But no, I used to be able to finish the first stage of this without dying. Sometimes get close to finishing the second stage. I know that's not much of an accomplishment in shooting up scenes, but no, to me it shows that it's a game that you can improve at. It's not a brick wall, even if some people would say it is a really difficult game. Maybe they just said that before the really ridiculous ones came out. But yeah, this does have the easy option, so if you want an easier version of this game, then yeah, the PGM2 one might want to look at. I don't think it's made much easier, but just ever so slightly. I'm not making that clear from my general play here. Some nice satisfying explosions and subtle use of the zoom on hardware. I mean, PGM zoom hardware and PGM2 zoom hardware, not the best, but the game uses it a little bit in places. I did kind of enjoy emulating PGM2 hardware, just because it's like PGM, but with just the ARM CPU, no nonsense extra CPUs, and all the video features rearranged slightly and a little bit more capable, not greatly more capable. Okay, I'll continue. It's sort of a refinement to the system, I think, because they realised that the PGM1 design, well, they were making all the games using the ARM processor on anyway, and the 68K was just wasted, really, just transferring display lists. So I guess they just wanted to make a more refined version of PGM1, and became PGM2. Shame it doesn't quite have the strength of the library that PGM1 had. I mean, it's not got much in the way of original games. It's got a KF98 port. It's got this, which is a port. It's got a new version of Knights of Valor that you led in, which is just a remix version of the other game. It's got Oriental Legend 2, which is probably the killer title for PGM2. And then it's got Knights of Valor 3, which is an absolute abomination. It's just, you have to get cards and store your character on cards and grind and repeat stages and build up the stats on your card. And who wants that in an arcade game? Who wants that in an arcade game? Anyway, I'm not really concentrating on that one. But yeah, I think Tamashii, this one, this reworked version of Diojo, does get overlooked. I mean, it doesn't offer much over the original, but it does have this easy mode, and I think it deserves a little bit more attention than it gets. But yeah, I think it's also silly expensive, like any other cave game. And if you were going to buy one, you'd probably just get one of the cartridge bootlegs of the originals, which unfortunately result in a lot of other game cartridges being destroyed. The prototype. I mean, there's Dodonpachi 3 anyway on the regular hardware. I mean, that one is in MAME. If we just fire up DDP3, this isn't a prototype though. This is just what was the very, very limited world release of a Diojo. It's actually a world release, probably mainly distributed in Asia, but this one does carry the Dodonpachi 3 title. You see, not the one you're very likely to see anywhere, but it's a legitimate release. And if you complete this one, I believe the ending is in English. It is actually, I mean, a lot of it's not localized, but I think the ending is localized on this one. You see, it's a very odd little set. Let's see, shot power, shoot powered, laser powered. It's localized a little bit there. That bit's still, no, that's not English. I don't know if that's readable anyway. But yeah, you're probably not going to notice the difference at this point. But yeah, if you complete this one, I think the ending is in English. In fact, shall we see if there are any cheats? This should be fun. Cheat. Okay. For some reason there are no cheats for it. Otherwise, I was going to put infinite everything on and show the ending. But with no cheats, I won't be putting infinite everything on and showing the ending. Unless I copy the... I bet the old other cheats work, but I'm not going to be moving around files. But hey, Mr. Fungi, with the first text of the night, first chat message of the night, and also the last, because I say this was just meant to be an hour-long stream, and the hour is up. So it's good to see you, and I hope you're doing well. But I will be ending here, so let's see if there's anything else going on. The Dodonpachi 3 set there, it's clearly still white label, just with a bit of localization. Okay, so Kim is streaming a bit of Sensible World of Soccer again. Actually, we did raid Kim last night, but there's nobody else on my list. So yeah, let's just send everybody. Well, I don't even know if there is how many people here, but thank you all, and we'll go over to Kim's. So there we go. Let's just jump over to Kim, and I will see you another time. So I'm just trying to get back into the routine of streaming things. So thank you, everybody, and see you next time.